Around the world, men and women are on alert. When duty calls, they respond, and in doing so, put their lives on the line, risking injury or worse. In this film, we will follow the BLM smokejumpers, an elite group of parachute firefighters. As the name suggests, they jump into smoke, most often coming from forest fires sparked by dry lightning storms. They spend the summer months waiting for fire calls on small airfields scattered all over the western side of the United States and Alaska. Dale Springer is one of these elite firefighters.
One of my favorite things about it is you go everywhere. I mean, in the last week I've been Las Vegas, Winnemucca, Ely. You know, in the last month I've been between Utah, Arizona, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, Montana. Yeah, since March I've been fought fires in the Grand Canyon and Zion National Park. You see the whole gambit. You get there when they're burning. You get there and help some places out and see some really pretty places.
The Bureau of Land Management Smokejumper headquarters is in Boise, Idaho, heart of the Midwest. A team of 80 smokejumpers are currently preparing for the long summer fire season, a summer they will spend all over the United States. From June
Bowman, McIsaac, Bonsack.
Grant Beebe is a smokejumper with over 20 years of experience and several hundred fire jumps.
So we have 80 smoke jumpers who work here. Most of them don't see the inside of this place all summer long. So what we do is we scatter. We take 4 aircraft and groups of 12 to 20 people, and we scatter them out throughout 220 million acres in the western U.S. That's what the BLM has protection responsibility for. So those 80 people scatter off into these small groups, and they really chase the fire season. They chase the lightning season around the western U.S. Fire season starts in the southwest, and it moves north, gravitates north. And so these folks will be fighting fire everywhere from Arizona to northern Montana to Alaska, depending on where the fire season is moving. The advantage of parachuting are 3. We call it payload, range, and speed. So with an airplane, you can carry a heavy payload of people and gear. So we can put 8 to 20 people on a plane and a couple of tons of gear and carry that all to a fire fast. So that's the speed part of it. Range is just the range of the plane, so they can fly a long distance. So if you've got a plane load of people, you can cover a wide area with a relatively small number of people, right? We can take 8 people, locate them in a central location. We can cover an area, you know, several hundred kilometers around it. If you were trying to cover, you'd need little fire engines every couple of miles, yeah, to cover the same area.
The smoke jumpers will spend their summer spread out around the western United States on 8 jump bases in groups of around 15 men. They're on call for 21 days before taking 2 days off. From each one of the jump bases, they can cover a 400-kilometer radius for fire.
Marty, Dan Zach, Bill Gerhardson, Taylor Knowles, Deb Yoder, Scott Murray, Rich Turner, Rob.
Usually someone kind of in command, but we all sort of are our own bosses. We're the first one to jump out and get on the fire, depending on their experience level, but most of the time they'll be in charge. It's called the JIC, jumper in charge. And so depending on how the load's set up randomly that day, that'll be the person that's going to be in charge of the fire.
We don't know how long they'll be out for. They kind of tell by the conditions, and but at this point they're just going to a fire and they know very little. And by the time the plane gets there, which is usually quick, but it can be an hour or so. And sometimes we'll stop and refuel and fly, and so they have no idea. They'll get more information as they're flying.
Go ahead, Moats.
Let's go to 12.
My dad was a smoke jumper, and my brother was a smoke jumper. It's kind of one of those things. When I was young, I was never going to be a jumper. I was like, no, are you kidding me? Go jump out of a plane and fight fire, and that's not my bag. You know, I want to write. And
parachute in, but parachuting into unknown conditions requires great skill and a lot of training. To get an idea of the wind conditions on the ground, the spotter throws streamers. The ribbons fall at the speed of a parachute and give him an idea of the drift and fall rates they are likely to encounter. We're at 1,000 meters. The jumpers will have a 6-second free fall before the parachute opens. To land safely in the small clearing, they will have to compensate for wind, turbulence, and other obstacles. The target is small and the trees are tall. There's no room for error. This is a critical moment in their missions. The risk of injury is high.
So you saw how she landed pretty hard. So basically you want to try to keep your forward speed as you're coming in, and at the last 10 feet, then you do your flare so you can land a little softer.
Yeah, boy. I'm okay.
Knife's good, barrel locks. Chest strap routed correctly and mated. Drug release seated. Main release seated. Inboard and tight. 1, 2, 3. Every time you get in the door, you check your drogue release, main release, reserve handle, and lower RSL. And then let's just see your final check before you go out.
That's what I said. It's anything less than 300.
To make sure you know where they are, so you know right where your handle's at. You know it's there when you left the plane, so you know where to look and grab.
More of a confidence thing. You probably look at it 3 or 4 times before you go out the door.
Says get in the door. You're on final, 3,000 feet. Your static line is clear. Get ready.
This parachute ritual is performed regularly before jumps. It is their mental preparation and reflex conditioning. There's no time to think during a free fall, and they must react instinctively to any parachute malfunction. Every summer, when the Great Plains, the dry desert brush, and the forests begin to burn, the smoke jumpers are on the front line. They will spend their summer chasing the lightning strikes across the United States, putting out the small fires in groups of 2 to 8 jumpers, depending on the size of the blaze. Eric Reynolds is the Boise base manager.
One thing I think you have to keep doing it for years is a sense of service, a sense that, well, I jumped into this fire and it was a hard jump, but we all made it safe. So it's as if all those years and all that time you put into training made it all worthwhile. And then you land safe and get everybody together and you march off and you put out this fire that, let's say, is threatening a ranch. It gives you a good sense of satisfaction, no doubt about it. You know, you practice a little bit in your mind before you go out, just in case something happens. Think over your malfunction procedures a little bit every time.
The man in the white helmet at the back of the plane is the spotter. He is the person responsible for the jump. He decides when and where the smoke jumpers will leave the aircraft after analyzing the jump conditions.
Okay, your static line's clear.
It takes a lot of seasons usually to know what you're looking at out the door and to make sure you're able to assess, what the conditions are. And usually there's no set number, but it's probably 7 to 10 years of jumping before you're usually asked to spot. And again, that's a very experienced person that has a lot of fire jumps themselves, and they know what things can look a lot easier from the plane than they do from the ground. So you want somebody that's spent a lot of time on the ground and looking at it from the air so they realize what they're looking at.
What we're going to do is to stay out of the smoke, we're going to run across wind pattern, okay? Okay, your static line's clear. There's virtually no wind down there. I'm going to go ahead and just listen her. Okay, one final.
This is their first contact with the enemy, and the last chance to get a bird's eye view of the battleground.
And they're going to try to land it on the hill so that the wind holds it up against the hill and we can catch it.
The smoke jumpers use planes to accelerate their intervention. A match can be put out in your fingers. An acre of forest requires days of hard labor. A few hours of dry weather is all that separates a match from a forest fire.
Looks to be about 15 miles per hour, so it's pretty high wind.
Okay, we're going to come in for a low pass.
Justin Broiler organizes the paracargo drop. When all the jumpers are on the ground, the plane flies a series of low passes. The first cargo they drop contains essential food and water for the first 48 hours. The firefighting equipment follows: chainsaws, shovels, and Pulaskis.
Okay, Dennis, I think that's it. You guys have a productive evening. Okay, Dennis.
Well, the fire's a couple ridges over, and it's really cranking, so we couldn't go direct. We're gonna have to move back. Tough fire break. Going out from that.
The first operational fire jump was made in 1940 using parachute techniques developed by the Army. During World War II, many conscientious objectors served as smoke jumpers in the civilian public service program.
You're gonna have to make a fuel break, cut down this timber, and then burn back from that. That way when the fire comes up against that wide line, hopefully that's gonna stop it at the ridge top.
Their job is to extinguish fires while they are still small. A successful mission means the fire will never make news headlines.
You the man! You the man! And this is our line right through here, saw line. Kind of stops right there. But our saw line goes right through here like this. Yeah, it's still holding.
Flying people in to fight forest fires may seem like an expensive way to fight fires, but not when you consider the cost of a large forest fire.
Well, there'll be basically a city set up inside the camp. I mean, you'll have stores, showers, tents, and it'll be running night and day for perhaps the whole summer. You know, some of them we have to just wait till the snow falls for it to go out. We'll get crews and try to corral it and keep it away from, you know, structures, houses, and hope for the best.
Our job is to prevent it from becoming a big fiasco like that. We make every effort to keep it as small as possible.
Every summer in the western USA, a familiar scenario unfolds. Flamethrowers, helicopters, and water bombers work the huge brush fires that plague the dry West. Thousands of firefighters are mobilized all over the country in order to fight their unpredictable enemy, the summer electrical storms.
Are we heading the right direction?
Every year, the American government spends around $2 billion on wildland firefighting. July in the Nevada desert. Daytime temperatures are pushing 50 degrees centigrade. The desert brush and dry mountain forests are just waiting for a spark to go up in flames.
Yeah, Todd, I'm with the smoke jumpers and I'm about a half hour out.
The summer lightning storms have just moved into the region, and a group of around 20 BLM smoke jumpers are on their way to the Ely, Nevada jump base, one of the 8 jump bases in the western United States. They will man this base as long as electrical storms continue to hit the area. Ken France is the Ely jump base manager.
You know, right now we're at the peak part of the season in this area. So it's pretty much nonstop. We're still facing that now. Fortunately, we got quite a bit of rain, and it keeps the fires very small, at least temporarily. So the idea is to get there now while they're just staying small until they dry out and then start ripping again. Is 30 minutes good for you guys? Maybe a little more?
3-0, sounds good.
All right, then. I'm calling them. We have a fire dispatch center that they track the reported fires. We check with them when we're ready to go again, and then if they have a new mission, then away they'll go. And it sounds like they do. We got a little bit more prep to do here. Try to get a bite to eat, and then go fly some new fires. There's quite a few out there. The helicopters have been working, engines, various folks picking up these new fires, but now there's always one way up in the mountains that we might want to try to get.
Deb Yoder is one of the few female smoke jumpers working for the Bureau of Land Management.
We're rehabbing a saw for the new go on. There's one on the jump ship already, but we have to have them ready for... That one's ready because someone else did this after they were done with their fire, so we're just getting stuff together for...
Deb Yoder's been fighting fires for the last 10 years. She began firefighting in order to pay her way through college, but loved it so much she decided to stay on.
Hey, Kevin, how you doing, man?
She's been smoke jumping for 6 years now.
First load, suit up! Stand by 1 second. Any that you're wearing?
Knee pads are for protection from rocks and stuff. Everything that we have on.
You want to be my
Kevlar, so that we can, Kevlar is what bulletproof material is made out of, so for landing in rough terrain. And this is my pack to put all my gear in once we hit the ground. Throw a pack off if we need to. This has all my firefighting stuff in it besides the tools.
Gentlemen, we got the deer fire. It is, it's pretty much the south of here where we've been jumping the past couple days. We've got an IC4 trainee coming in on engine 4962. Clear and right.
This is like probably their 4th fire in a row where they've just come into the base, got new equipment, and going out again.
While smoke jumping is clearly a high-risk job, the hard training and extreme fitness of the jumpers has led to a very good safety record. In the 65 years of smoke jumper operations, more than 140,000 parachute jumps have been made with only 3 parachute-related fatalities. The real danger is on the fire front, and this is where most accidents happen.
Yeah.
It's okay to say ouch.
Ooh, bet these are rocks.
The area the jumpers were dropped into has been heavily hit by lightning in the last few days. This morning's mission for Deb Yoder and Kurt Atkins is to clean up the ashes of 2 lightning strikes before the heat of the day brings the embers back to life.
I mean, it's hard work compared to an office job, but it's really compared to that crab fishing that I've watched on TV. Looks like harder work. It's dirty. I don't think you'd stick with it if you didn't find it fun. The lifestyle can be a little challenging at times, so. Like that section we just walked through was ours from last night, so I just wanted to make sure it held. So our assignment's different today. Our assignment's to go over to that other fire, but we just kind of wanted to look over our section to make sure it was still good.
The size and kind of ferociousness of them will depend on how much rain the thunderhead had. Sometimes this one might be an acre, so we assume it got a little bit wet. There's a little bit of rain that came with the lightning, which is a big help for us. It keeps them small. And then, as you guys have seen for the last few days, there's been thunderheads everywhere and lightning all over the place. Last night on this other fire, we were seeing lightning 360 degrees around us. So, I'm sure all the firefighters out there are going to be busy today, and as soon as we get back home, we'll go get another one.
Harvey bailed to go scout the 2 tracks. What's that?
Even though I can kind of tell from looking at it that it's not hot, I'll still kind of feel around it to make sure. So, I guess you could say that. I fought my first fire when I was on a high school backpacking trip, and some backpackers hadn't put their campfire out, and some friends and I stumbled across it, starting its own little fire. So that was my first exposure to fighting fire, but I always liked the outdoors.
They spend the morning cleaning up the many scattered fires, but it's a race against time. As the sun rises, so does the temperature. By midday, it will hit around 48 degrees, and any embers left unchecked could reignite the forest.
I just came off of that one and kind of went into this.
So we're pretty much good over there then?
I think we'll be fine. We can get around this. Won't need any water out here, but we can probably get a lift home. I think
there's definitely some men that wouldn't like this job too, you know? You gotta like being in the outdoors. You have to not mind being dirty, not having a shower, you know, and those are kind of things that there's a lot of people that wouldn't enjoy it. But, you know, last night sleeping out in great outdoors and working hard and getting to see fun places.
With the worst of the fire behind them, the smoke jumpers pack up their equipment and get ready to leave. Later this afternoon, a ground crew will come in to replace them. In the meantime, they have to get back to Ely to fly some new fires.
You can use hot water if you need it.
Hey Scott, do you want us to break our stuff down?
Unless you want to.
Not one of those people that actually sees it as a lifetime career, but at this point it kind of is starting to be. So you never know, and that's how a lot of people do it. Oh, I'm not going to come back next year. I'm going to go do something else, and they're back the next year. And being on the road and, you know, jumping 4 fires in a week and, you know, being in different places. Demo being into Las Vegas. And there's a lot of elements of surprise and stuff that keeps it exciting, and I think that's what keeps a lot of people kind of addicted to it. And probably there's a part of all of us that hasn't quite grown up.
When the job is done, the jumpers have to get to the nearest road. Often they are many miles from civilization and have to hike out with up to 50 kilos of equipment on their backs. Today, however, they are lucky. A helicopter has flown up from Las Vegas to get them out of the mountains and down to a road.
We are somewhere outside of Vegas in Nevada, and we got dropped off. Was that yesterday afternoon? And then there's another crew in there right now doing some mop-up, and they're sending us back to be ready for initial attack.
before they head off, the helicopter sling loads their equipment. They, in the meantime, have to work out how they're going to get back to Ely, Nevada, 600 kilometers away.
Well, we got off our last fire, came in, showered, next morning had another fire. Kind of thing, you could just keep rolling. Sometimes you don't get to shower up before the next one. It's just come in, go to your next fire, you know, as soon as you can get your gear ready. That's what I'm doing right now, is because tomorrow morning the jump ship's gonna come pick us up and take us back, and usually we travel fire ready, so they'll come with parachutes for us. And usually have shorts, flip-flops, and a t-shirt in our leg pocket for if we wind up somewhere like Vegas where you want to go to eat and not be in dirty clothes.
It's kind of a yard sale.
Fire, it's very confusing here. Train starts back there at the Luxor and comes up to here. I don't know if it ends here, but you can get on it right here.
I go to the train.
All right, let's take it. Let's try that.
Okay. Yeah, the first time I thought I was going to leave Vegas was money in my pocket, you know, but now I don't know.
After a 6-hour car ride, the jumpers get back to Ely, where lightning just keeps striking.
Yeah, we had a great lightning storm last night, just even right here at the building. Almost struck right here at the building a couple of times, and fire just 2 miles outside of town started last night, and we dropped 5 on that. It's even though it's close into town, it's 10,000 foot elevation, and they were able to get in there and get a handle on that small fire.
Perhaps how much of a break today, huh? It's a night in Vegas. Not the most soothing of adventures. Yeah. We'll be arrested to get out to a fire line, I think.
All right, guys, we got some Latin Longs WAG down south, about 35 miles away. And they had some other folks in there, but it was outside. They couldn't get to it due to a roadless area. So first load, suit up. Okay. Tail and pin.
It's a Jake fire. Please up again.
He's doing a check right now to make sure I did everything right. Yeah, just to run through it. Just forgot something. Good time to catch little things. He wasn't really looking though.
A couple of hours is all the smoke jumpers have to get their equipment back in order before heading back out to another desert fire. But no one here is complaining because they just love jumping out of planes.
This was a pretty easy one. This is a pretty typical desert fire.
you know, where it burns like hell during the day, and then since the sun goes down, it mellows out quite a bit and really gives us a chance to catch it. But a lot of these we call them para-camping trips. You know, you just come in with some of your best friends, and you get a parachute in here, which is super fun, and then you camp out and have a fire, and eat some chili, and call it a day, you know. See what happens tomorrow, see where you end up. You know, you never know. That's one of the funnest things about this job, too. You never know where you're going to sleep.
You might end
night,
up in Vegas one night.
Vegas one night, in the dirt the next. You know? You never know where you're going to be the next day, and that's kind of fun. Makes it really cool.
You get paid to camp, you know, and the fire's already built for you. If you love the outdoors, you know, you get paid to hang out in it, basically. Before I got into this job, I bought a tent, you know, did a lot of backpacking, and yeah, these beetles are nasty. Did a lot of backpacking, but now once I'm done with the fire season, I'm pretty good on it.
It's a lot more couch time.
Yeah, I'd rather be in a civilization. I think we're out of the old stuff, aren't we?
This new kind's pretty good, though.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Tricky guy. I needed some food.
Yeah. Yeah, I was running low on fuel. Yeah, from high rollers on the Vegas Strip. Yeah, back to our roots. Yeah, eating out of bags. Sleeping under the stars.
But how often do you get to dine with such a view, you know?
Yeah.
That's like probably my favorite part.
Yeah, I think it's inside the line. Be okay.
4 jumps. 4 jumps, 6 days, dude.
Yeah. Mine's a record, dude. When's some GJ? Colorado, I think.
Goes to figure, it's calm and quiet all day, it's sunny and clear, then as soon as we're looking to go to sleep, it's windy, looking to rain, and it might be a tough night's sleep tonight. I'm kind of a sissy, so I jump with the air mattress. A lot of guys don't. Most guys will just dig out a little space in the dirt and make a little home for the night. Night's so windy, I'm trying to take one of our cargo boxes. Hopefully that'll be like a little bit of a wind shelter for me tonight. Pretty much summertime home right here.
Sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night and you gotta put on your Nomex and start digging mines. But this is pretty secure. We got it pretty well secured today, so I'm not too worried about it.
3 o'clock in the morning. The violent wind has just blown the fire over the fire breaks dug by the smoke jumpers earlier that night.
Heads up, that thing's all right, taking a pretty good turn.
Yeah, I don't think our line held. Man, it's rolling.
Bro!
Raz, the incident commander on the fire, walks the large campsite to wake everyone up.
Yeah, let's see, heads up, you guys. Yep. Yeah. All right, cool. It's 1, 2.
The fire front is rapidly approaching the sleeping jumpers.
Let's make sure all the bros are up. I'm only counting 7 bros.
Oh, yeah! Right here. Got your pack back? No, I'm gonna go look for it right now.
Hey, has everybody got the JP?
Come on. Miller.
The guys call out the names of their jump partners to ensure everyone is awake and ready to move up the hill into the burned area, safe from the advancing fire front.
What we need, though, is a little rain right now, like a downpour from the mothership. Yeah.
Okay, got a dozer. I wonder if I can get an air tack and retardant. I know it's I'm low priority and that stuff's at a premium, but if I can get that stuff, that'd be great. First thing in the morning, as soon as they can get up and come on out.
First thing in the morning, a group of 40 hotshots arrive on the scene to help the smoke jumpers. The hotshots are an elite ground-based wildland firefighting unit accustomed to this grueling work in 48-degree desert heat.
It's all a team effort. We have the hot shots are some of the most professional, toughest firefighters out there. Really the workhorses of the fire world, and so everybody just has a role to fill. Like right now, again, 4 or 5 jumpers. We can't really do a whole lot on 200-300 acres. So get crews in. So like right now, I can break into an overhead roll, kind of help these guys out, help them do their job. Other jumpers are breaking out into jobs like dozer boss, helicopter managers, engine bosses, things like this, and kind of helping to coordinate all the resources so we can all work together most effectively to get this fire out.
When fires get big, reinforcements are called in to dig fire lines. More jumpers, planes, helicopters, hotshot crews, the list goes on. Some fires take months to extinguish.
Okay, on final 3,000 feet.
Coming over the ridge here, if we can pretty much lay all he's got right along the top there and stop the head from moving over this ridge.
Fire's charging pretty hard. It could be multiple shifts, I'm not sure. We're just going to do everything we can. Hopefully we'll get more resources in and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, BB, that ship's coming in on the south flank there. If you could all pull off, get back in the trees, give him plenty of space, he's going to be dropping a lot of mud.
Go down a little bit from the road to Raby.
Well, yeah, that drop looked really good. If we could continue that retardant on down the line.
The water bomber has just dumped 12 tons of fire-retardant mud on the forest. The men take cover. The liquid load dumped by the plane could be very painful. For Eric Hipke, this drop will just be very unpleasant.
I think I can truthfully say I'm sopping wet in mud. There's my Pulaski, there's my gloves, my boots. I've been officially slimed.
When fires get big, the logistics involved resemble those of a military operation. Night and day, large numbers of firefighters have to work the fire fronts. The men use oil cans and incendiary grenades to set back fires designed to burn out all fuel in front of the advancing bushfire. At daybreak, they call in helicopters to help with the backburn. Fire behavior is predictable. It evolves with the landscape, the winds, and the type of vegetation. Firefighters often win their battle at night when the temperature drops and the humidity increases.
It's tough walking, man.
Need a little more wood in there? Get some.
You got your Snickers in my mayonnaise. Oh, you got your mayonnaise on my Snickers. These are two great tastes that taste great together. A little botulism surprise. Man.
Yep, that's where he's at.
Well, yeah, that drop looked really good. If we could continue that retardant on down the line. Looks like we got a spot over there on the ridge. If you could swing that bucket around, get the helicopter, swing that bucket around and drop on that.
I think we're just going to have to let it die down a little bit.
Yeah, maybe when it gets down a little lower.
You know, when that helicopter comes, you want to take a flight over?
Yeah, I think that would help to get some eyes. When we started on the hot shots, they'd you know, if you made it more than like 2 years, they'd say, oh yeah, you're hooked, you're gonna keep doing this. And it's true, either you'd come 1 year and just say, this isn't for me, I'm gonna go do something else, or you would come and say, this is great, I enjoy this, I wanna keep doing it. and then the years sort of zoom by, and you know, you change areas, but you're still doing the same job.
It's about another 2 miles. It's not real far, but a little tired. Been going at it for a while. One of the things I like about it is you get to travel to wide open spaces like this and be outside with a lot of really neat people. It's great. That's why I keep doing it. It's not for the money.
Right now, but we can't quite see exactly what's going on right now.